It was supposed to be a joke. It turned into a nightmare. Welcome to I Hope You Suffer.
Are jokes and nightmares mutually exclusive?
um,
The state of our country says.
I was trying to make a Nightmare on Elm Street remake joke, but Katie's was better. Katie, you ready to talk about Fall Out Boy?
No!
Well, that's too bad because it's going down.
In an earlier round.
The great thing about that is that, like, I don't actually know what the words to the song are. I just know, cadence of the song, pretty much. That's all I know. So when you guys say words at me, I don't really know what they are. I don't know the lyrics.
Just take that bit out of context to use from now on the podcast. Whenever you say words at me, I don't know what they mean.
This is episode 86 of I Hope You Suffer. My name is Nathan.
I'm awake.
I'm not.
Yeah, me either.
I was just saying that, so, if I say it, people will believe it.
Oh, gotcha.
Kind of.
So this week we are talking about 2014's The Lock-In. A perfect movie if I've ever seen one.
Clearly, you have not.
I mean, so I'll flat out say that this is still probably not in my top 5 worst movies for the podcast somehow.
No, I think this movie actually, I'm not really sure what does it have, like a 1.8 or something?
Yeah.
It's by no means a good movie. It's not terrible. Like, if anything, it's just really stupid.
If this movie didn't have the insane Christian nonsense, like just like shoehorned into it, that made it funny, it would be unwatchable. But just like the weird horror nonsense that all of a sudden they're just like, I don't know, Jesus teaches us that like we should be doing this instead of looking at like nudie magazines.
Porn is evil and it's destructive, and you don't know demons come out of magazines. It's serious.
I was extremely amused by the first half of this film, and then the demon showed up, and I was like, whatever.
Here's my question, though. Did a demon show up? Because I didn't really feel like I saw a demon.
I mean, you saw those faces twist into one.
I saw a child there for some reason.
Yeah, it was a lock-in.
I saw that one dude screaming at a camera or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess that's really not specific. That's the whole fucking movie.
Oh, this movie's so good.
Well, so like when I was watching it, Chris was like talking to one of his friends about how I was watching it, and I was like an hour and something into the movie, and I was just like, there's still no demon. There's like growling, but I'm like, there's no demon. Like, where is it?
What do you think through the trash can?
Yeah.
Through that bin?
Yeah. Stupid fucking movie.
It's so good. This movie like delivered the promise of like Veronica, where everybody was like, it's like The Room, blah blah blah. Like that's how I felt watching this, where I was like, this is so stupid it's funny, as opposed to like Veronica, where it was just stupid and boring.
Yeah, I mean, I admit I laughed out loud a few times, and I actually thought that like the kids like did a pretty good job at just like acting like I mean, this is like a sort of a found footage movie, I guess. And so it's like shot from the just like a kid instead of at least he didn't have just like a GoPro on his wrist, I guess, but shot from like a camera, and the kids all seem like they're acting pretty normal. Like the acting, I didn't think for most of them the acting wasn't bad.
That I disagree with.
Oh, really?
Like I whoever's idea it was to just let these kids essentially improvise most of their fight, like everything.
God.
Okay, there's a few parts where I did write, is this improvised? I wasn't really sure because like
It has to be.
there's
I
like a
hope-
few scenes where they're just like talking to each other and it's like very obvious that they don't know what the other one's gonna say, and so they just kind of keep saying the same thing like back and forth, and I'm like, there's no way that this is scripted, right? Like
I can only assume they probably did one of those things where like they were given like plot points they needed to hit and then were just told to like talk.
yeah.
As well, at least like once they actually get into the lock-in, I did all the shit like before that. Who even fucking, I don't even know what was happening and all that shit. One like when you're at like Nick's parent, like, well, I guess his house, but with his parents and all that, I was just like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, there was a
That was
lot
my
of
favorite part.
like chit chat between like the three boys.
Oh my god, that's
If the whole movie had been that, I would have loved it.
it's
That-
just
They're just making fun of the dude for like hanging out in a dumpster
What?
for an hour and a half.
Okay, I was like, where's this coming from? They just like hard cut to them being like, you should not dumpster dive, and I was like, huh?
it's
And
so
then they
weird.
You're always
immediately
hanging out with your
dumpster dive.
grandma and in the dumpster. It's really weird.
And then like all this barn door stuff, I also did not understand what
Yeah.
that was about.
uh, Caitlin watched it with me and was like, number one, pointed out that Jessica's hair changes throughout the movie. So you get like at half the scene she has bangs and half of them she doesn't.
She also has like just black hair, and then like later in the movie she has like under light, like she's got like bleached hair underneath her hair. I'm like, what's happening here? She's like a scene kid.
She like Caitlin was losing her mind at
church camp.
the barn door, and then at some point it says like something about trap door.
Yeah, I don't. And then because then like like later the pastor also brings up, he's like, I don't need to tell you about the barn door. And Nick's like, yeah, I know about the barn door. And I was like, can someone please tell me about the barn door, because I don't understand
They're gonna
what happened in the barn.
They're gonna rub buttholes together.
Oh. Okay, but the reason that's confusing is because Nick is like, my dad told me all about what happened there, and I was like, where? Like, what happened where? What are you talking about?
Well, we're gonna find out in the sequel.
The lockout.
Or locked in.
There's the guy who directed this apparently directed another Christian horror movie called like Harmless or something.
Oh no.
He also directed a documentary called The Secret of Essential Oils.
Oh my god. I'm in. Let's cover that next week.
I
Learn about lavender oil.
I can't imagine it's not extremely racist.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't write anything about the director or who stars in it because, a spoiler, other than the director doing maybe 2 other movies, no one else in this attached to this movie did anything else ever again, except probably get bullied relentlessly.
Well, that's assuming that other people watched this movie.
This movie, apparently, a lot of people have watched because if you just look up the lock-in, or like with like, you know, the year or just Christian horror movie, like there's a fuck ton of like people who've done YouTube reviews of it and shit.
Oh, I saw one. The one that started playing after this freaked me out. I like snapped you guys a part of it. I was like, I don't even know what's going on. I had to turn it off because it was like scarier than the movie, and it was just like some guy's review of it. Can we talk about how the production company is called Holy Moly Pictures?
Yeah, of course it is.
I love it. What else have they? I'm gonna see if they have anything else.
I
Oh,
don't think they did.
they have a documentary from 2017.
Is it like the tithe something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you took Malachi 3:10 to heart? What if you did? I don't know what Malachi 3:10 is.
I
So
think it's made
technically,
up.
no. It's like, yeah.
There was
Also, I definitely read that as Malachi because I'm an idiot.
I might have said it wrong. I assumed it was Malachi.
That sounds more right if we're talking about tithes and stuff.
there was
But
a
I'd love to watch about Malachi.
there was a review of the lock-in on Letterboxd that is just, why were there only 5 people at a church lock-in? Seems fake.
I think there was like maybe 2 or 3 other kids that were just like in the background, but they don't ever talk. And they're like, yeah, there's like nobody at this lock-in. Well, I think the kids kind of say something when they like pull up to it. They're like, "Oh man, there's no one here." Then they put up the flyers, and I was like, why no one wants to come to this. That's why.
Like at the start, whenever what's his name's giving the whole speech about the lock-in and you can't look up porn on the Wi-Fi or whatever. Yeah. It looks like a decent handful of kids, and then he wanders off, and suddenly it's cut down to 5, and they're all lost in this church and can't get back to where any other people are. So how big is this church?
I mean,
Get lost.
apparently it's just got corridors upon corridors in it, and a baptism pool that's in a hallway.
Yeah, that was a really weirdly placed. And then also they when they go like down the hallway and the haunted trash can is there, there's like rocks in the wall, and I was like, what is going on? Why is the wall like a cave? But then I remembered one of them said something about laser tag or something, and I was like, still, they like built a cave wall in this church, like very strange.
They tried to convert the 7-foot high hallway into a rock climbing wall, and it's still very well.
My note is they sneak around upstairs to throw the magazine away in what apparently is a cave.
Yeah. Like it's like so weird because they just are like, oh, we gotta find a trash can, and they turn down a hallway, and suddenly it's like an abandoned part of the building. There's like plywood on the wall, and I was like, hell, what is happening here? But I mean, I guess that's what it's supposed to be. I don't know.
I'm very curious who the architect of this church is. I have a lot of questions.
Oh my god, it's crazy. It's like what's that house, like the Winchester house?
Yeah, the Mystery Mansion.
It's just like they build fucking hallways on top of hallways on top of hallways, just lead to nowhere.
Stairway leading to a baptismal pool floating in the sky.
All right, let's try to talk about this movie based on my just garbage note taking, because it's just. I think this is the first found footage movie we've done. Somehow, this was the first one.
I think so, and I actually really like found footage movies, and I like movies that cut between maybe not necessarily found footage and surveillance, which is what they do in this movie, but I do like movies that have like surveillance where it's just like no sound. I really like that. It was kind of weird in this movie, but maybe that's why I didn't think it was as bad.
Oh god, the fucking editing of this movie is just trash.
It does leave a little bit to be desired, especially later when they're being chased by the demon and it just like hard cuts to them just like in a kitchen. Now they're in a closet and I'm like, what's happening here?
It's like when you see people that made like a movie on like a VHS tape where they would like shoot a scene and then pause it and then unpause it to like shoot the next scene. Like it's just shit just like cuts, and then it'll be like it'll cut from a scene where it's just the audio is super quiet, and then the next scene is just loud as fuck. Blow out your speakers, or somebody's just screaming directly into the mic of the fucking camcorder.
Yeah, there is a lot of screaming. in this.
My biggest pet peeve is like just the recording with the camcorder. So whenever people are screaming, it starts to like, distort and digitize.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking "Come to Daddy" by Aphex Twin, like just that scream.
For like, I mean, I would put up the stuff of fucking Jessica screaming in this movie up to that.
Jesus,
Yes.
Jessica.
All right, so this movie, quote unquote movie, starts
This alleged film.
Yes, this is a movie that I almost believe was actually a videotape somebody found and put on YouTube, as opposed to like it's like this is the real Blair Witch.
It is legit found footage.
Yeah. And like starts with some fucking words on the screen I did not write down.
I actually didn't either.
When I first started it, I was like, I'm not even taking notes on this. This is gonna be garbage. It's like I'm not even gonna bother. And then like people started talking, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta get all this dialogue because it's all
Okay,
perfect.
the amount of like people that were like, "Oh man, can't wait to listen to the episode. We're gonna watch this movie." I'm like, this is the movie that people are like, invested in. Why?
I don't know.
Like, I
but
know-
I'll take it.
I know that I know that the movie sounds like it would be like notoriously like the plot is pretty insane, right? But it's like, I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you right now, my goal in life is to get this movie released on Blu-ray.
Come on, Vinegar Syndrome.
Yes, director's
Arrow.
cut or director's audio commentary.
3-hour extended cut.
Yes,
My other
all the
question is,
deleted
like-
scenes, which is just, I assume the 14 hours of just footage they shot of these kids improvising. There's
like just
there's
the outtakes.
gotta be like a gag reel somewhere.
One of the things that I found myself wondering is like, I think his name is Justin, who was like the camera kid or whatever. Do you think was he like legit? Was this child as the actor like recording this whole time, or do you think that they had like a quote unquote camera person doing it?
Yeah, I think there's a camera person.
And he was just like running next to him so he could like talk.
yeah, or that
You know what I'm
shit,
saying?
or
Like-
that
He's
stuff.
like piggybacking.
I don't.
He's strapped to his back like a
I don't know how close I paid attention to like any time that like he was kind of talking off camera, so like it could have just been edited in.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, until like the very end, he's like not very much like that prevalent of a character. But anyways, okay.
I would like to see a remake of Superbad with these three kids.
I'd like to see a remake of The Lock-In, but with the super bad kids.
But all as adults playing the kids now.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so there's some fucking words about some Christian nonsense on the screen that doesn't really matter. And then you get this fucking ridiculously long intro scene of the pastor talking about the link between porn and demon activity and this fucking stupid lock-in he was in charge of. Which,
When you thought you couldn't like porn anymore,
like, so...
it gets linked to demon activity.
What I don't understand is this opening makes no sense with the reveal.
Exactly.
Or, well,
That's what I was going to bring up. No, it doesn't, because I don't want to ruin how terrible the ending is, but to me it makes the beginning make no sense.
This movie has a better ending than Sixth Sense. Perfect twist. 10 out of 10.
My favorite thing about the opening is that they're like talking to him willingly, and he's like, after seeing what happened on that tape, I could not be a youth pastor anymore, and now I sell insurance.
Well, no, that's what I was going to say is, like, So if they watch the tape and all of this is actually on tape, then they have to be like, what the fuck happened? Like,
But we don't, yeah, right. And so that's the point. We don't actually know, I guess. I don't know. Maybe is it
The past
implying that
doesn't exist.
I'm never gonna not be thinking about this movie for the rest of my life.
You poor bastard.
And the other thing that's confusing to me is that like he says like something about like you never know how that I didn't want to bring this porn demon into my family, and he took the tape to the quote unquote elders. I don't know who those people are. But then he says that the tape is like 80 minutes long, and I was like, didn't this happen over the entire night? Like I thought that they were trapped for like hours and hours and hours.
Justin edited it before they.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, before
For
you
the,
know, they
for the
just
premiere.
yeah. I
Sure.
think the elders.
He should have edited more of it, I guess is what I'm saying.
No, he should have.
Then.
He should have fucking.
'Cause-
Doing a better
Like-
job.
One of my favorite things that like I noticed a lot, especially at the beginning of this, is I'm assuming this dude was not great at delivering this dialogue because all of the cuts in this opening scene have to have been anytime he just was just like, oh fuck, line.
yeah,
or,
or
like,
he was
whatever.
like,
And it's just these like jump cuts that just like in the middle of him talking and shit. It's just it drove me crazy.
yeah, because I think, like, aside from editing out, you know, because they probably just like rolled the camera the whole time and they were like, just talk for 10 minutes or something. And I think that they probably left, maybe, I'm assuming they left the cuts in to make it seem like it was like a legit interview, whatever, but it's like, it's not good. I don't like it.
Yeah. And then you get this fucking dude stops talking about. Oh fuck! Sorry, I've been up for 100 hours.
For 80 minutes.
Yes, a whole 80 minutes. He gets done talking about fucking whatever the fuck he's talking about at the beginning.
Health insurance.
Yes,
Or whatever.
like I was already checked out by the time the scene was over because this scene somehow goes against all time and space parameters and lasts 3 hours of the hour and 28 minutes this movie is.
And essentially all he's saying is, I sell insurance and porn is bad.
Also,
If
he's just like, this tape exists, and that takes 3 hours somehow.
Yes.
And then up on the screen pops, the following footage is intended for review only by the church board. Any duplication or reproduction is strictly prohibited.
Seems weird to edit that in instead of just like, you know, telling them whenever you play it. Right? Seems excessive.
And we're already going against Malachi 310. Malachi.
Malachi. Malachi would never.
And then you get, for some reason, Justin filming himself packing some porn magazines into a box.
My favorite thing is that I call him skinny jeans. He just like sits on his bed and is just like looking at it like it's like a home and garden magazine. He's just like,
Well,
yes.
You like if you read the description of the movie, you know what he's doing, but if you didn't, like if you just somehow like I don't know, the algorithm of YouTube threw this into your fucking watch list.
Not ruling that out.
Yeah.
Also, you that this is the.
Like,
Anyways.
like if you just happen to be watching it without knowing what's happening, you're just kind of like, what is this kid doing and why is he filming this? This is very weird.
Well, at this point, I actually didn't realize that's what he was doing because I, for some reason, was under the assumption that they watched a video, not just like found a magazine. So I didn't make the connection until the end either. And I was just like, but I also was still like, why are we watching him look at a magazine? Anyways, that's stupid.
Yeah, it's very dumb.
It's a great character building, in my opinion.
Yeah. This is one of the scenes that I noted down the edit noises, where it's just like the fucking static that cuts in anytime they edit it. It drove me crazy. Then you're introduced to Blake, who is the worst person on earth. Who, like,
Yeah,
just... Oh my god, like, you know, this was like the kid at the church that everyone was like, oh my god, he's the funny guy. He's so funny.
Yeah. Well, and he makes a point to say like, hey, we're gonna have a good time because we're cool, okay? He's like the cool youth group kid.
He's
The edgy guy.
he reminds me of somebody, but he's just like an overbearing but like a positive version of like a specific comedian, but like
He reminds me of that guy that makes the videos where he pretends to be like a white woman, Chris something, where he does those videos that's like, oh, mistletoe.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I think you
Somebody
made this
will
up.
know. No, I didn't. I'm gonna look him.
No,
Yeah,
it's
this
just-
is fake. This is fake, just like the
like-
video.
I keep wanting to think, like, I know this isn't the right, like, comparison, but I keep wanting it to be like, oh, this is like the Christian Stifler from American Pie, but he's not. That's not, like, not who I have in mind, but for some reason I just keep thinking that.
I could see that though. Like, there's a parallel there.
He's the Christian Dane Cook.
Oh my god, you know what? He kind of looks like Dane Cook
Yeah, that's.
too.
I think that's might be who I keep thinking of, because he kind of looks like him, and he's got that like overly energetic fucking feel to it when he's like just.
Oh, his name
ranting.
is Trey Kennedy. That's
I-
who he reminds me of.
Unless it's Jamie Kennedy, I don't want to hear any more about it.
No,
If
it's
it
just
is
like
Jamie Kennedy, I don't want it.
Jamie Kennedy, come on the podcast.
No, don't.
who?
The fucking Malibu's Most Wanted, bitch. What are you talking about? Who?
I have not seen that movie.
He's in.
Don't ever do it.
Yeah, don't ever watch it.
Don't watch Tremors 5 or 6 either.
Well, watch those.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know who he
Yeah,
is.
he's the dude.
Yeah.
From, like he's the dude from Scream. That's like the only.
Yeah. I know.
Tolerable thing he's ever done.
So Blake is just ranting at the camera about, I don't know, how he wants to fucking watch Nick fuck some girl at the lock-in.
Okay, and also I'm like, why is Blake so obsessed with Nick, like,
Oh my God.
and Jessica falling
Because
in
he's
love?
fucking in love with Nick. There's a reason they're hiding in the closet a bunch in this fucking movie.
He's being supportive. He's
No,
being a very.
He's
he wants to jerk off in the corner while they like make out during the fucking lock-in. It's crazy. He's just like obsessed with Nick fucking this girl.
he like really is.
I have a note that just says Nick has a crush on Jessica, so this is going to be fun in capital letters. Blake just screams into the camera about how fucking great this lock-in's gonna be. It's gonna be the fucking best time anyone's ever had. And then he goes up to Nick's door and he knocks on it by going, "Ding, fuck,
I said Kit needed to sing it.
I completely forgot how it went.
I
I
literally
watched it 3 times and I've forgotten.
I
It
have
was
it.
like, Good.
I have it like I wrote in my notes how he did it, and then now that I'm reading it, I can't remember the melody for it.
it was something like ding, 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 dong,
No, it was-
or something like
It's
that.
funny though, but he's doing it. He's doing like it's like ding, ding, dong, like whatever, but he's knocking.
Right.
He's a fucking dickhead. I hate this kid so much.
Do you think he's ever successfully tricked anyone to thinking they have a doorbell?
This could be the greatest prank ever.
I need
Got
that
him.
song to be like my ringtone. So when someone calls me,
Anytime,
think it's the
anytime in the
doorbell.
group chat, you get a notification.
that's the whole thing.
If I could ever figure out a way, I'm going to like record just that, and I'm just gonna leave it on my phone, and then in like 3 years when we're actually allowed to hang out with people again, I'm gonna meet up with Shane, and I'm just gonna fucking somehow figure out how to change that to his like all of his notifications.
This is Shane's fault, so I
It's
back it.
absolutely like this movie sucks, but I'm glad I watched it because it was super stupid.
Yeah.
I'm convinced this entire podcast was just a long con, like started by Nathan and Shane to get us to watch this.
Yes, this is the last episode.
Yeah, this is it. We've been pranked. Ashton Kutcher is going to come on at the end of the episode.
Ew.
Honestly, if we were smart, this would have been episode 69.
Damn.
We fucked up.
Fools we were.
We tried to do something like good, but
I mean, technically we lost episode 69, so we can just
Yeah.
say this is episode 69.
That's true.
Just go back and just fucking renumber everything. So you are then introduced to the worst character of this entire movie, who is Nick's mom.
Oh my
Who's
god.
just screaming directly into the microphone of the fucking camera.
I don't think anyone like it's downplaying it to say I wrote mom screeches and underlined it a bunch. It's like very, very downplaying how incredibly loud she screams Nick.
It's
I was like paying 100% attention to this movie, and she screeched, and I still jumped because it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, it
because I
hap-
was not expecting her to do that.
It's one of those like very sitcom-y things where she's just like, "Oh, you're here to see Nick?" Nick, like just screams, and it's like so, and like it's like Kit said earlier, where it like distorts everything else in the fucking movie.
Like I'm surprised it didn't break the camera and they had to like get another one because it's just like sounds like it's from the depths of hell.
Yeah. So she sucks, and then everyone else, all of his friends suck. His dad sucks. Everyone in Nick's life is the worst.
His dad is also like one of those people who cannot act right, and he's just like has a smile on his face the whole time that they're like, "Who's this girl? What are you talking about? The barn door." And he's just like got this smile on his face, and I'm like, "Bro, turn your face away from the camera or something."
Maybe he just really enjoys giving his son shit.
Yeah, I feel like these were his actual parents for some reason.
It might have been.
And so you just get a bunch of bullshit of like the fucking kids interacting, and then Blake lets information out about Nick having a crush on Jessica, and then they videotape where they look like they're trying to be sneaky, but they're blatantly just sitting like 5 feet away from the parents giving Nick a fucking talk about sex ed, basically, which they keep referring to the barn doors, so I assume buttholes.
Oh my god, okay. The only note that I wrote about this is that also Nick, they're like, "Who's Jessica? Who is Jessica?" And he's just like, "Oh, she's just some girl in my math class." And his mom goes, "Did you solve her problems for her, Nikki?" And I was like,
I was legit cracking up during this whole sequence.
It's pretty good.
And then for
I don't
some
know.
reason,
This is
his
extremely
dad
funny to
said,
me.
I know about Vine.
I
Oh, okay.
I think the funniest part for me this entire scene, and it happens a couple times in this movie, where like, I think it's like after they get busted like with the magazine, and like they're filming Nick getting yelled at in like the pastor's office, but they're not hiding. They're just standing in front of a fucking giant window in the view of the pastor, and like
Holding a camera.
But like, so Nick's getting talked to about sex by his parents while Blake and Justin are filming it and like cutting back and forth between like filming Nick and then like Blake's face where he's just like, "This is the funniest shit that ever happened," but they're literally like 5 feet away, crouched down in like the middle of the room.
They're like on the other side of the staircase.
Yes, the staircase that is completely see-through.
And then they pray.
Do they?
Yeah.
That's yeah. The parents for
I wrote
yeah.
barn talk, they pray.
My next note is
Barn
just
prayers.
everyone just yell talking over each other,
That happens a lot.
which is
yeah.
basically the movie.
They should have had the mom scream the prayer.
Then
Thank you, Jesus.
I have Christians get pregnant too as a quote. And then keep your barn
man.
shut.
Oh,
That's good life advice. I'm
Uh-huh.
always saying that.
maybe
Keep your barn shut.
she's the one that should be keeping her barn shut.
I think
but that's fine.
I think the dad says it to him.
Oh man. Through him like laughing through his hand. He's like covering his mouth laughing.
And then you just
Same.
you hard cut to all the kids in the car. And this is when you get like 5 minutes of them making fun of Justin for dumpster diving.
Yeah, and Blake talks about his quote unquote crusty grandparents.
And I don't remember what any of the fucking lines were about, but at some point somebody says something about freaks fly kites.
Oh, because Justin was like, oh man, I find cool stuff in there. And he's like, oh yeah, like what? And he's like, well, I found a kite. And I'm like, why is this happening? What are like.
These kids kind of just have to have got bullied just relentlessly in school.
Also, if this
In
is like
real life
ad-libbed,
in the movie.
if this is ad-libbed, then like this kid 100% is a freak
Oh,
for
this
kites.
is-
Like if that's where his mind went.
This is like life imitating art for sure. And then for some reason they drive by a dumpster and they have to stop to make fun of Justin some more and jump into this dumpster. And also,
Well, Justin was like, "You're one to talk. Look how gross your like car is. There's trash everywhere." And then Blake's like, "Fine, I'll throw away my trash." Like, not really sure why this is
and
necessary,
then
but
he climbs on top of a dumpster and has somebody
What?
throw the fucking giant trash bag to him. But sitting right on top of all the trash, in a nice little paper bag, is a porn mag.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, found porn. Which
Score.
I can only assume
Did you say
based.
score?
Yeah.
Listen, I can't imagine that they're that expensive. You should just like go buy one from 7-Eleven. I don't think you need
I
one
don't-
that's been in the
Yeah.
trash can.
But if you just find one in the trash,
Yeah, I don't think
mean,
you understand
that's the win.
the joys of being a teenage boy and finding porn somewhere.
That is 100% accurate. I do not. I don't have a lot of experience
Well, you should
with
have
being a teenage boy.
went to the creepy woods in your area all the time.
Should open more dumpsters.
Yeah.
Ugh.
What do you think crust punks are always doing?
Ew.
Why do you think his grandparents are so crusty?
Ew.
I don't remember what this quote is, but my next note is: "Ladies like when you work out. How come you never work out?"
Oh, yeah. When they drive by Jessica and her best friend, whose name is Genesis, they're just like, "Oh, sorry, we're late. We were working out." Okay. Together?
Blake
Okay.
is the worst.
Yes.
This movie gets so much better when he finally disappears from it. Let's see. I have these kids are brutal to Justin, and I hope he murders them. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen.
Damn.
Oh,
That would have been a better movie.
and then you're sort of introduced to the pastor again, the guy from the beginning of the movie, who meets the kids at the lock-in and gives them a hang 10 hand sign, so you know he's cool.
Literally nothing cooler. The only way it could be cooler is if he was wearing a puka shell necklace.
He might as well have been.
You guys like Hoobastank?
What's happening, dudes?
And then he delivers the greatest speech ever committed to celluloid, which is about the internet security in the fucking church, and that if you look at anything naughty, he will get a text about it, and then he will call everybody back into like the rectory, and then you're gonna have a fucking. They're gonna figure out who it was, and then they're gonna have a chat.
Which seems like a really weird thing to just like bring up. Like, I don't know.
Well, look. So, spoiler, everyone in this goddamn town apparently is addicted to pornography. So, like, it's apparently a thing.
It's such an issue
And
that he had to bring it up.
He doesn't
yeah.
want his Wi-Fi getting all smutted up.
He doesn't want to bring this
Don't
into
taint-
his family.
Don't taint the Wi-Fi.
I lost my goddamn mind when they're all talking about their fucking
Oh my god.
families' porn addictions and
Jesus.
shit. It is the best scene. Yeah, the pastor just pulls everybody into the room and just basically has to give a bunch of dialogue about what a lock-in is. And, like, all of this shit about his fucking cool security and his Wi-Fi.
Also, he's like, basically is like, oh, just so you guys know, you can only give side hugs, and he like demonstrates what a side hug is.
And that the entire time he's giving this speech, Blake is doing his best Jason Mewes impression of just, like, antagonizing the fuck out of Nick about Jessica and how much he's just like can't wait to watch them fuck later. He's guys, like, it's just so annoying. Like, I don't know why they thought any of this character detail with him just like being obsessed with these two was important, but it sucks. And then, I don't know, some shit happens, and eventually Nick and Jessica are talking, and Blake's just fucking across the room yelling shit at him like a fucking dickhead. I'm gonna have to use that sample a lot for this fucking cursing in this episode. Which I also don't remember if we were talking about that in the episode or not, so no one's gonna know what we're talking about. And, oh, I guess I forgot to say earlier, like, so... After they find the porn magazine, Blake tells Nick they were just throwing it back into the dumpster, but he's like sneaks it into Nick's backpack because jokes, I guess. And Jessica,
Or gifts.
what was that?
I said, or gifts.
Yeah, I
Is it a
mean,
joke or is it a gift?
maybe he's like, hey, bro, loosen up, go crank one out.
Let me watch.
I saw this movie called Something About Mary that says you're supposed to jerk off before a date, and you're about to go on a date with Jessica all night, so...
Wow.
Honestly, that sounds like a 100% legitimate, like, Christian camp kid.
Oh, 100%. So... Nick and Jessica are talking, and she, for some reason, which you find out later, that she was looking for Oreos in his backpack.
I mean, same.
I mean,
like,
yeah,
who wouldn't?
I like to dig through just people's shit to see if they got Oreos, so...
I mean, you never know who has Oreos.
I do it at work all the time.
Kid has been reprimanded numerous times for going through people's lockers looking for Oreos.
Is that what really happened to your leg? Did somebody hurt you?
It was. I found too many Oreos and they spilled out of the locker.
It was just like
Bruised up my leg.
like a cartoon where just fucking water falls out of the locker.
Just nonstop for minutes at a time.
Kid's like, whoa, whoa.
Fucking like a weird dog goes surfing out on the Oreos. Like,
It's got like sunglasses on.
so Jessica finds the porn magazine and just flips the fuck out at how gross Nick is for having it.
Yeah.
A
She calls
total
him a pig.
gross pervert. Because if you haven't noticed, in this movie is very against pornography.
I didn't notice. Wow, really?
And it just cuts to, well, so
Is it weird to have pornography in your backpack than a random, like, thing of Oreos? Like a sheet of Oreos?
I think the weird thing is that he still has it in the fucking paper bag. That also has to just smell like garbage because it was in a dumpster.
Right? I think that like they didn't. There probably wasn't even a magazine in the bag.
I guarantee you,
It was
What
probably
the-
just a bag.
I I tried to pay attention at the end when Justin is piling all of his porn into a trash bag. And as far as I could tell, it looks like he just has like some Maxims or like Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. Like,
Wow, close enough.
so I assume that they just found like a fucking like I don't know, an issue of Cosmo where it had something about like sex tips on it, and they were just like, "What's this pornography?"
Or like a Nintendo Power with like Princess Peach in a tennis outfit or something.
It's all the like Sears holiday catalog.
It's got lingerie in it. It's porn.
Oh, that's the other thing is that when they find it, they're like, "Whoa, this is vintage too."
What does that mean?
It's been used, I guess.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Well, I mean, you gotta think
Something,
someone.
why?
It was like thoroughly used enough that someone felt that they had to throw it in the trash. So like,
I'm assuming they opened it and it was a very pristine copy of a 70s Playboy. And obviously Blake knows all about it, so.
yeah, right. He's like, this is the 1950 summer edition of.
How we're like 15 minutes into this fucking movie.
Well, I only have like a page and a half more of notes, so.
So the pastor pulls Nick into his office and is giving him a talk while Blake and Justin just fucking film it very obviously to where
This is like the part that I was saying that I got to that I was like, this is definitely just like, because like when the pastor is like talking to them, he just keeps saying the same stuff and he's just like, well, what were you thinking, Nick? Nick, what were you thinking? I'm just really disappointed. Nick, I'm disappointed. He just like kept saying the same thing over and over again, and I was like, somebody please throw him a line because he obviously doesn't know what he's supposed to say.
Oh, he's the worst. He eventually yells at all of them, and then I just have the quote, "Would you just stand at my wife's house and look through her window?" Which baffles
Nick's like,
my mind at the
"Have you
like at why does his wife have a house that's not his? Like,
Also, the idea that like purchasing a magazine that somebody does for a job and then also being like a creeper who like peeks into someone's houses are the same thing. It's not totally true,
yeah,
but
it's just,
that's fine.
it's a gateway drug. You buy a porn magazine, you're gonna start peeping through windows.
I mean,
Slippery slope.
So this
what if his wife like opened the window and was like, I don't. Anyways,
there's just a sentient
Let's
porn
move on.
magazine staring at her.
that would have been a way better movie if it was like actually the magazine like just like fluttering in the wind and like slapping people in the faces and stuff.
That would rule. Let's make that film.
Yes.
Okay.
So the pastor takes them out
Okay.
to another dumpster to burn the magazine, which is obviously not this bag because when they light it on fire, it is blatantly just a paper bag.
Great.
It's so funny that it's like windy outside and it takes the dude like 10 tries to get his like lighter lit.
What
I was dying.
What infuriated me is as I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, like they're not gonna like whatever this magazine is, it's not gonna let them burn it." And I was like, "That's kind of like at least
Yeah.
like an interesting thing to do for it, I guess." And then they did light it on fire, and I was like, "Oh, they just couldn't figure out how to get this thing lit on fire." And they just left
He just
all
couldn't
fucking
get it lit.
like a minute of him trying to do it.
And they couldn't afford to waste any more time trying to, get a good cut.
Yeah.
Or they didn't have a second paper bag to light on fire.
Yeah, they were just like good enough.
That was our only bag.
And then you cut to Jessica, like Justin and them they all go back in and they're like trying to find their friends and they stumble across Jessica sitting by herself and they film her talking to her friend Rachel, where she just talks about Nick having a porn problem because she was looking for Oreos and pulled out this magazine.
Yeah. she's just like, well, I don't know what to do. It's gross. I don't ever want to see him again. And then the friend's probably just like, girl, you need to chill the fuck out. She's like, what should I do? Just pretend it didn't happen?
It's like, so there's a thing that happens in this movie a lot, especially later, where I can't remember if it's just Jessica, but I know specifically she does it where almost every line she's delivering about somebody, she says their name. Like later when she's like, I think I hear Genesis. She's like, she'll be like, I think I just heard Genesis. I think Genesis is here. Genesis is talking. I swear, I know Genesis is in this room.
Genesis is my best friend, and I heard her voice.
And like,
yeah.
I think she does it the same thing here. She's like, well, Rachel, but Nick had this magazine, but I don't know, Rachel. I just wanted these Oreos, and like Rachel, I reached into his backpack, and this magazine was there.
I was just hungry, and I got more than I bargained for.
So you then cut to the kids setting up their sleeping bags, and all of a sudden the magazine is back.
Whoa.
It obviously got done peeping at the pastor's wife and came back to his friends. Yeah. And wanted to have fun. He heard about this cool lock-in they were having that's going to be the most fun ever, so...
Yeah, you know, he just had to take a pit stop to peep. I mean, if she's offering, you might as well, you know?
Once they notice the magazine is back, you get some security camera footage of just doors opening themselves, and then apparently this demon decided to sit in a rocking chair for a while because there's a rocking chair rocking by itself.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a King Diamond movie.
Yeah, Grandma. Grandma something.
I don't know if anyone's gonna get that, but I'm glad I said it.
Now I'm just thinking of King Diamond songs.
This is a King Diamond podcast now.
King Diamond, write a fucking your next album about this movie. So after everybody goes to sleep, or I guess they're gonna try to go to sleep, these fucking three kids decide that they're gonna try and sneak out to throw this magazine away. And
it worked out well the last time. Why not try it again in the middle of the night?
Obviously,
right?
Watching it burn and then it just reappears wasn't concerning enough. Like, oh, we'll just throw it away. But it's a lock-in, and they're very serious about this to the point where you can't get the fuck out of this church if you need to.
Nope.
And like, even the adult was just like, you can't leave. I will go out to your car for you.
Yeah, they're like, Justin needs his itch medicated cream or something like that, and she's like, I'll go get it for you.
They're walking away, and he's like, okay, I guess I'll just have an itchy night.
Maybe the only good joke in the whole fucking movie.
His barn door is itching.
And so they eventually make their way into one of the, I'm guessing, 17 floors of this church. Because they go upstairs and they just decide they're going to throw this magazine away in a fucking trash can. That, like, this is where I noted that they are apparently also in a cave.
Yeah, I wrote, they look for a garbage can in a rock hallway, ?
And so they throw this magazine in the trash can and they just, you know, pat their hands together, just wipe that dust away. We just did a good job. They're done.
Done.
And
movie's over.
Team.
As they go to walk away, they hear a roar, and then the trash can shoots across the fucking hallway. Shit's getting real.
But for real, I would be terrified.
I would kill myself immediately. I just would spontaneously explode and just guts everywhere. So
they would be like, oh shit.
They go fucking like running around trying to find, like, they go running out of the hallway and they're just like, we gotta find somebody and figure out what's going on, but nobody else is there now. They can't find anybody in this lock-in. Everybody's disappeared. And
all the lights are off.
They knew that they threw away the porno mag, so everyone went hunting for it.
They were just like, well, this party's over. There's no porn
mag.
mag.
No porn. I'm leaving.
And then they just spend about 6 hours arguing with each other about what happened with the magazine.
Yep.
And that's the movie.
Yeah.
It's pretty much.
We watched
like,
all 6 hours of that argument. And, like, at some point they go and they hear a noise and they decide to go investigate. In case it's one of their friends, and they're just, like, slowly creeping through this fucking tiny staircase. And I think this is maybe the first time you see the fucking baptism pool that's just in a hallway. And they eventually come across like a closet that they open, and Jessica's in there, and you get like this crazy jump scare.
yeah.
And she freaks out about how she came out of a bathroom and everyone was gone. I'm not. Well, I guess I don't. I'm guessing it's because she talks later about how like someone in her family's got like a porn addiction that she's still there.
They said one of them says that only the people who touched the magazine are still there.
Oh, that's right.
Which at the time I was like, okay, that makes sense. But Pastor Chris touched it, so like, why isn't he still there?
He's the demon.
I mean,
so
yeah.
It would have been fucking amazing if they would have just revealed at the end this was like a Scooby-Doo fucking situation. And he was behind the whole thing.
Pull the mask off the magazine and it's Pastor Chris.
They pull the like porno mag bag off of his head.
Yeah. Let's see who's behind this porn magazine the whole time, and they just pull that paper bag away and it's just him with a fucking magazine over his face.
Or like if he was like possessed and like chasing them around, that'd be pretty scary because he's like a pretty like big guy. They could have done like a lot of stuff with that, but they were just like, nah, he's gone too.
My next note is a solid 3 minutes where you can't hear any dialogue, and then a roar, and they run and can't get out of these huge glass doors.
Yes.
Oh my god. Is that have we skipped the chair swing?
Nope. Coming
No,
up
we're
to
not
that
there
because
yet.
it is
Not there yet?
Okay, so they're running around and they're realizing they can't get out. All the doors are locked, and it's like apparently a supernatural thing. Like they can't get them open. The same fucking
It's just good glass.
Well, it's the same bullshit that always happens where there's just like the walls are essentially just glass, but they can't figure out how to get out. And so they go running around and they end up in like like a lunchroom looking area. And Blake picks up a chair. Can't. If I should have timestamped when this happens just to tell people to go watch this scene. It's
incredible.
It is comedy gold and maybe the funniest fucking thing I've ever watched. Where Blake, I just put in all capital letters, sick chair swing at window, bro.
I wrote, Blake lightly taps window with chair, and it doesn't break.
He's like, I want to get this chair, and I'm going to bash this window out, and he gets it, and you could tell, like, that they were just like, seriously, don't break this window.
Right.
Yeah,
And so
they didn't get permission for any of this. Like, they'd be in huge trouble and couldn't afford a new window.
He barely taps this fucking window with the chair like 3 times, and they just linger on it, and I'm like, this looks so shitty.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
Like, it's that swing of like, obviously not swinging to break something, but he's got the chair like sideways by his leg and just kind of like half-ass swings from there. Like,
oh, it's so awesome.
Damn it.
It is maybe the greatest scene in any horror movie.
Highlight of the film, easily.
Oh my god. This and their fucking, like, this is the best physical, like, thing in the movie. Any of the fucking ridiculous, just faith talks coming up are pretty great. And so these kids just go exploring through the church some more, and they just can't find a way out, and they eventually come across a window where they see someone walking by, and they all start screaming and banging on it as loud as possible, blowing out all the speakers. And
Yeah. so freaking. I wanted Jessica to die.
Well, she does.
It was so bad.
As whoever's outside can't hear them, and they're just like, well, this sucks.
I was thinking like it's really good that it's nighttime because there's no way that the person that's actually walking by could not hear them and wouldn't have like flinched or something.
I assume it's
But you can't.
like Pigster, where it's just that like supernatural thing. That's why.
Oh, I meant like the actual person.
Oh well, yeah.
That was in the movie.
That would be amazing if it was just some stranger walking by.
They were like, "What the fuck?" Keep walking.
And so they eventually make their way to the kitchen where they're just arguing about this fucking magazine. And then they
Okay, but they're just like, hey, okay, so after this very intense scene of them banging and screaming, it just cuts to them like walking down the stairs and they're like, I'm hungry. And I was like, for real? What? It's just like nothing has happened yet. And they're just like, let's go find something to eat in the kitchen.
I
Just
mean-
like very nonchalant.
again,
Like,
the Shaggy and Scooby Doo of this fucking movie, they're all just like, let's go eat.
I mean, I guess she didn't get her Oreos, so she's got to be starving, but
And so this scene, this is like they all like just they're arguing, and they just start breaking down to each other about how porn has ruined their families' lives. And like, go ahead, Kit.
I was gonna say, aside from that, it rules so much that they're in there and there's no food, and they're like, "We're going to starve, like we're going to die here." And it's like they've been there for like 5 hours, maybe.
yeah, like tops.
And like somebody has to be showing up like at some point in the next day or two. Like,
Like people know they're there.
Like at worst by Sunday, right? Is a church.
so they're all like spilling guts to like everybody about like I think Jessica's just like, well, my dad was addicted to porn and like it just put like a strain on our family. Blake's like, well, my dad was addicted to porn and he left and all he left me was a box full of magazines.
Yeah, I was like, Blake's dad left him a box of magazines. I wrote, I'm fucking dead. Like, what?
It's so good. Caitlin was fucking losing her mind at this scene. Like,
I hope he actually put it in the will.
yes, that's
Like-
what happened. Is the dad actually died, and it was like, I bequeath you my fucking mag, my porn mag, as they
My
like to call it in this
used
movie.
magazines. But then, of course, Nick is like, yeah, I also have a problem with it. And I'm like, oh, all right, okay.
Yeah, I can't remember if Justin says anything.
Justin is my favorite because he says that he also was looking at it on his laptop and his papa
Oh, yeah.
like walked in on him and then took his laptop out to the driveway and drove over it in his car.
Drove over it a couple times. He just fucking ran his laptop over because he saw him looking at like probably like Maxim's online like website, like saw like a fucking I don't know who was big in 2014.
I don't know. I don't know who anyone is, so
I'm gonna just say Zsa Zsa Gabor. Was she real big in 2014? Making it into the Maxim's 100.
I'm sure she was, yeah. You're right.
So they all get done spilling their guts to each other, and then they just decide to sleep on the floor of this kitchen instead of what I can only assume is a plethora of fucking couches in this church.
Okay,
Like there's at least pews.
Right?
Go sleep on a pew.
So they're sleeping on top of each other on the floor in this fucking kitchen.
so this whole scene is just so weird because it's like they're talking. They basically like sort of start laughing at Justin for getting his laptop run over. Then like the blinds behind them rattle and they all like scream and stuff, and then it hard cuts to them sleeping. And I was like, okay. And then I don't know, the demons using the camera to like film them sleeping, I guess,
No,
because the
it's-
camera's like panning around them sleeping.
the porn magazine's doing it.
Right. I'm just like, that's
Didn't you hear
strange.
the flapping?
No, I didn't. I had to turn my sound
I-
down because people would not stop. Just
I love how like this demon is filming them and just like essentially is trying to film the inside of their pores, how close it gets to their face.
Up their nose.
And so
And like heavy breathing.
Jessica wakes up and she starts being like, we gotta, like, I think I heard my friend Genesis. I don't know if you guys know my friend Genesis. She was here. We should go find my friend Genesis.
Name was Genesis. I do like this part because they like go to like look around and there's like this like dark hallway and Jessica's like, oh well, we didn't check out those rooms, and I think it's Blake says, I'm not trying to check that out, and I was like, that is a mood. That would be me. I'd be like, I do not care about Genesis. She's gone. Goodbye.
Yeah, but guess what? She's dead. That demon ate her and turned her into a porn magazine. Leave us alone. So she goes storming off and they follow her, and then she just eventually gets pulled into another room and just screams for 6 hours.
Yeah, I don't really know what was happening there.
Scream.
You don't really like see it. She just like is gone and screaming, and they're like, "Oh my God, Jessica's gone." I was like, "Oh, is she? Thank God."
My next note is just the 3 dudes run away and hide in a storage closet, and I assume make out. I think this is one of the scenes where they hide in a closet, but they don't turn a light on, and it's just black for like a solid 3 minutes.
I think so.
And then Jessica starts screaming again at some point, and Nick demands that they go out to find her, where they go into like a room where they just stumble across some little kid whose face turns into a demon face, like Paranormal Activity, and they lose their mind and run away.
Okay, these were all like teenagers that were like at this lock-in, but when they find a child, and I'm like, why is there a child here?
That was the image of their innocence being perverted and turned into a demon.
See, this
movie's got levels, Katie.
I was gonna say that. I was like, that's actually really probably the truth.
Okay, it is
but
absolutely
then I was
not.
like,
I just made that up. They were probably just like, I don't know. I saw one of those Paranormal Activities where there's like a kid, so let's just do that.
I don't know. I think
kids are creepy. Weird faces are creepy.
I think that was the most insightful thing you've ever said about a movie.
It's probably the most insightful thing I've ever said about anything ever.
Okay, so this scene is confusing because I'm like, they find a child who smiles weird, and then they all turn to leave, but then there's like another child who screams at them, and then they just like hide. And I was like, what's happening? And also, this is like the only weird thing that happens at all.
Well, no, because you have the next scene. I think what's the next scene? This is the next one I have notes about, where they find tapes that they watch of some dude talking to the pastor about his porn addiction.
Yeah, but like that doesn't happen in front of them.
Well, yeah, but then like at the end of it, this dude fucking talking about it. Like the pastor in the video gets up and like leaves the room, and then he just like talks to the 3 kids from the videotape.
Oh, I guess I didn't notice that part. I just thought he like made a face.
He does, but he says something, or I think he says like their names or some shit like.
Oh, okay.
Like, you're gonna be bald like me if you keep jerking off.
Because all your hair grows on your hands. Isn't that the urban legend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you'll go blind.
And then I was like, are we supposed to assume that this is Jessica's dad?
Oh, God, I hope so. I didn't even put that together. I thought it was just some random person.
I mean, I just assumed that, like, if her whole family is going here and she specifically said that her dad had, like, a problem, I don't know, maybe I was just stretching.
So then, after they watch this fucking tape, they just go traipsing through this church some more, where at this point they come across the baptism hallway again, and this time it's filling with water. And then for some reason they have like puppets like they made out of cups.
I don't know.
I did not understand any of this scene.
I don't either because they're like laughing like they just like smoked a fat one and are just like playing with some cups. Like I have no idea what's going on here.
You know what they should have done?
What?
They should have tried to baptize the porno mag.
I thought you were gonna.
I think that
I thought you were gonna say the cup puppets.
If we cleanse our cup selves, then we'll be saved.
These are our children. They won't go to heaven. I think at this point, I was just like starting to check out of the movie again, and like I was like, I don't know what these fucking puppets are about. This is dumb as hell. And then like they get into a fight, and like Blake storms off, and then like Nick goes following after him but can't find him, so Blake's is just like disappeared. And Nick sits down at like what I think is like the pew of this church, and he's just like crying, and he's like, I didn't mean it, blah blah blah, and like just like crying to himself. It's apparently this boy is just missing Blake hard, even though it's been like 30 seconds. And then just hard cut to them running in the hallways again.
Oh wait, but I wrote Nick says sorry to his parents and talks about how porn is bad and that he loves his parents. I'm like, all right.
God.
Cool.
I know that happens with with Justin later. I don't remember that part.
Yeah.
Nick, but it cuts. It's like they didn't even bother trying to put some space into it. He's just crying, and then all of a sudden it's just like that, like static real quick, and they're just running through the hallways again.
Yeah.
And they hide in a closet again and turn all the lights off. And they talk about Blake and Jessica being gone, and they're just like confiding in each other about whatever. And then all of a sudden the camera turns back on, and it's facing Nick, and I think this might be, or maybe just another scene where Nick's talking to the camera to his parents and about how they were right and how touching this fucking magazine was a mistake. And then,
yeah.
And then you just look around the room, and I'm just like, did Nick just deliver this whole thing while Justin's in the room with him? Like, he had to have. Nick, like, there's like a scene of like Nick apologizing to Justin for him and Blake being a dick to him.
But then he like immediately starts yelling at him after he's like, hey, sorry that I'm a jerk. And then he's just like yelling. And then
he wasn't sorry.
No.
Then they get attacked by what I can only describe as the sound of a metal trash can lid smashing together. And like, I think this is when Nick disappears.
Yeah, because I think I wrote like noises, Nick and Justin yell a bunch to be left alone, and they have a breakdown. And then I think there's like a hard cut again where you're meant to think maybe Justin like blacked out, and he's just like, what time is it? And he like looks around, and Nick is just gone. And I was like, okay. And he's like, I'm so thirsty. I need to go get some water. And I was like, Jesus.
Oh, it's so weird. He's like stumbling around like he hasn't had something to drink in like 13 days.
Yeah.
He's just like, I need water. And he goes climbing up these stairs and finds like the baptism fucking hallway thing again. Puts the camera down on the ground and just jumps in and just like starts getting like dragged underwater and is trying to get out, and then finally gets out and just lays on the ground and prays for help.
Did you guys see, like, I thought that this was going to turn into something, but it definitely didn't. When he is, like, laying on the ground, he's just like, Jesus, help me. Jesus, come into my life and help me. And he's just, like, saying it over and over again. Like, to the left,
a kid walks into frame,
like,
and then just
walking into it. Yeah, and then just, like, leaves, and I was like, oh.
Somebody walks into the shot as they're filming it, and then like just like Homer Simpson gifts his way out of
just
the fucking scene.
Yeah. For real. And I thought I was like watching the other side of like the baptismal pool, because I was thinking maybe someone was gonna like come up and they were gonna be possessed or something, and I was like, this could take a creepy turn, but it literally was just an accident that they did not. cut out.
I knew that was coming because I remember when Shane originally like live tweeted about this fucking movie. I remember him saying something about it. It's so funny that they're just like, we can't film this again. Just fucking leave it.
Yeah, he was just like literally like jaunting down the hallway and was like, oop. And they're just like, sucks into the wall.
I just like that, like, so Justin's like laying on the ground, he's like soaking wet, and he's just like praying, and then he just gets up and he's like, I got Jesus inside me, he saved me, and he just starts fucking Zach Baggins his way through this fucking like
legitimately
church, threatening to fight this fucking demon because Jesus has saved him.
That's right.
And then,
literally, that's exactly what happened.
He walks through like basically this whole church, and finally makes it back to he stumbles into like the main room where like the pastor was giving the internet's security speech earlier, and like the whole group's there, and Justin's like, "What the fuck is happening?" And
they're all just like, "Hey man, where you been?"
They're all like, "Yeah," and like Blake's like, "Why are you soaking wet?"
Always a great question.
I was gonna say, the biggest mystery of this movie for these people.
Even though I thought that the baptismal pool was like up the stairs from where they were, because they were like in that room when they heard like noises or whatever and went upstairs.
Maybe the best line in the whole movie is, I think the pastor was like, because Justin's is like, what is happening? Where have you guys been? And they're like, what are you talking about? They're like, you went to the bathroom like 2 minutes ago and you haven't come back. And like the pastor's like, I was thinking I was gonna have to call a plumber to come get you. Like,
I missed all
it was
that
something like
it
was something where they were just like, you've been gone for the bathroom, and the pastor was just like, I thought I was gonna have to call a plumber. Crushing it.
Wow, I missed that because I was just like blindsided.
Gold.
Blindsided by how stupid him emerging and nothing have happened.
Yes.
I was just like, are you freaking kidding me?
It did happen because he's got it on videotape.
I don't know.
Basically.
Because then, okay, so after this, it's like them going home, and they're like, what are you talking about? Nothing weird happened. You fell asleep at 8. Okay, so but then that doesn't make sense either, because then one of them says, like, you fell asleep at 8 p.m. and everything was normal. And I was like, huh? Was this the next morning, I guess? I don't know. I'm confused.
I think...
Why was he so wet if he just fell asleep?
Yeah.
Probably...
Don't answer that question. I don't want to know.
Wet dreams, Kit. I feel like whoever wrote this just had like 5 different endings in mind. They're like, this would be a cool twist, and then they just added them all.
Spoiler, it was not a cool twist. It was very stupid.
So basically, like, you just get a long scene again of like the kids driving, like Blake driving Nick and Justin home, and they're kind of fucking with Justin about everything, and he's just like, no, like, you don't understand, like, this was real, like, whatever. And like Nick turns around and he's like, just, we're taking you home, go sip a Capri Sun and get some rest. solid advice.
I want a Capri Sun.
Same.
For real. Capris and Oreos, you can't get it better.
So Justin is dropped off at home, and he goes into his bedroom, and he sets the camera down on his desk and starts throwing away his giant box of magazines.
Yeah, like a plethora. There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's like stacks and stacks.
Which is funny because he wasn't even the one with the magazines. He was the one that had it on his laptop.
That's,
So,
yeah,
continuity error.
Well, he had to switch to it because Pop ran over his laptop.
Yeah, that's true.
He couldn't risk that again.
And that is the end of this perfect movie. Highly recommend everybody watch it, especially because you can watch it for free on YouTube.
Scorsese approved.
Yes. I don't know what won Best Picture at the Oscars of 2014, but The Lock-In was
not
robbed.
anything like that. I'm gonna Google it. I'm curious now.
It's gonna be like The Shape of Water.
It was 12 Years a Slave.
Oh.
I didn't see that, so I can't say. But I'm gonna say the lock-in was probably better.
Ooh.
The lock-in had a fucking dude barely tap a window with a chair.
That's all you need.
I really need you to like record the mom screaming and like put it somewhere.
God, no, I'm not even.
Intermittently throughout the episode.
I'm gonna put that.
Just scare people.
That'll be. I'll just bleep out every curse word with that, but just like make it super loud.
That's how I'm gonna get Shane back. I'm gonna put the scream in just throughout.
I'll send Shade. I'll be like, Shade, I'm gonna send you the episode early, and it'll just be that clip just stretched out for
Over
like
and
an
over.
hour.
For an hour and a half.
10 hours of Nick's mom screaming.
All right. So this movie was great. Katie, you got any news?
Yeah. So,
Lock-in sequel coming finally.
yes, more locked in. I just have not been able to digest this movie. This is like normally I watch the movie like either right before we record or the day before, and I watched this like last weekend, and I still am just flabbergasted by it.
It's a pretty tough Oreo to swallow.
It is. It's like if you just tried to swallow it whole sideways and then
The entire sleeve.
So they've announced that there's going to be a new Goosebumps live action show, which could be cool. I don't know. We'll
So
see.
just
I'm
ripping off what Nickelodeon did with Are You Afraid of the Dark coming back.
I mean, they're already. Yeah. I mean, I
Forgot
guess.
about that.
I didn't actually get to see any of the new Are You Afraid of the Dark because I don't know where it is. I can't find it, so I don't know if it was any good or not. But yeah, they're supposed to be doing a live action show, which I think is a lot better than trying to do movies, and they really need to stop trying to do the movies because they're bad. Also, doing a Hellraiser HBO series.
Hard
I'm in.
pass.
No.
Oh.
I mean,
You're in
if
also.
Doug Bradley
I
is
said it.
not doing it, I don't care.
Well, the reason
If it's
that
not Doug
I'm
Bradley, John Cena.
the reason that I'm
I want that.
interested is because one of the writers is Michael Dougherty, who did like Trick or Treat, Krampus, whatever, which are two of my favorites. So
I just like what do you do as a TV show for that? Like, I don't know.
Banging.
anything. There's so many
Oh,
ways
Yeah,
to like.
unless it's the entire
Sure.
TV show is just fucking Frank and Julia just
Yeah.
going to
It's
town
just
on
skin
each other's
banging.
skinless. I don't care.
I mean, it's HBO, so probably
Exactly.
that's what it's gonna be. um. So I don't know. It could be interesting, and just because of like all the people who've signed on with it, I think maybe it could be cool. I mean, I don't have HBO, so I'll never be able to watch it, so I don't really care. But I mean, could be cool. I don't know. Unless they go like hard CG with it, I could see that.
They
Being-
should have it just take place in like, what is it? Is it the fourth one where they like have like the dude that like where they all bunch of people get killed by like CDs?
The third one.
Is that 3? That seems so early.
Yeah, but the CD Cenobite
Yeah.
hurling his exploding CDs.
I want the.
Great
I
film.
hope the entire series is just about him.
That's
I
wonderful.
hope they do it kind of like a What We Do in the Shadows spin, where it's like all the Cenobites just like going to work in a cubicle, and they're like, God, Jerry spilled water on. Anyways, so the only other news I have is that they announced, like we've been talking about that new Argento movie, Black Glasses, and Daft Punk is gonna do the score for it, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, you say that, except you haven't seen a Dario Argento movie from the last 20 years.
I haven't, but the idea of Daft Punk doing the soundtrack sounds insane to me, and I love it. I'll watch it just for the soundtrack.
I bet this movie never comes to pass.
Maybe not. Who knows?
What if he just gets Daft Punk to like score his life? He's like walking around his kitchen, like cooking. There's Daft Punk just doing the song.
I bet it's just Dario Argento is like making an hour-and-a-half version of that Around the World music video. It's gonna be all giallo instead, though. He just adds a bunch of colors to it.
Okay, I had no idea what this new it's called Black Glasses. Did I say that? I had no idea what this movie is about, but a quote from him is that it says, "It will be my return to crime films. It's the adventure in the nocturnal realm of a Chinese girl and child."
Hard pass.
What does that mean?
That does not sound great. That sounds like that's going to be horrible for a lot of reasons.
It's going to be so bad. Just retire.
Like, you can sleep now. You can just, like, hang out at home.
That's what I mean,
You can
man.
take
Just
the long
fucking
one.
buy NBA 2K, whatever. Just fucking
Play with John Carpenter.
Play online with John.
Oh man. And apparently, like, the reason Daft Punk wanted to do it is because they're admirers of Argento. So
Yeah, they, like, called him about it, right?
yeah, they're just like, boop, boop. What's
I mean, like, I can
up, bro? Could be, yeah.
I can definitely see them making like an interesting soundtrack to a horror movie.
Yeah.
But like it's just that combination is strange.
Well, and the thing that's weird to me too is that they are going to start making the soundtrack before the movie even starts filming. Like, the movie is not filmed yet. And they're just gonna like start the soundtrack and be like, "What do you think?" And then he's gonna film it.
Well,
So I can't even imagine scoring
rule.
something that you haven't seen. But I don't know.
Film the movie around the disco sounds of Daft Punk.
Yeah,
Disco maker.
I don't know. But there we go. That's it.
We're gonna end up having to watch that for this fucking podcast.
Yeah,
I think
terrible.
so.
I'm in.
I think we do. Yeah.
All right. You guys want to shout anything out?
Oreos.
I had something like 2 hours ago and I forgot.
Oreo and Capri Suns and Doritos. Cool Ranch Doritos.
Oh, nice.
Do you guys remember 3D Doritos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, those were so good.
Nathan sounds like he had a bad experience with 3D.
I don't remember. I remember them existing, but I don't know if I could eat them because I think I was vegan already, and I don't think.
Oh, are they not?
I assume that from what I remember, I think they were either nacho cheese or Cool Ranch, which neither are vegan. So
That's a bummer.
I'm gonna shout out
that makes sense. I
essential
never thought of it.
oils.
Shout out what? Lacuna Coil?
Essential oils. And
Oh.
history, whatever.
yes, everybody get on YouTube and watch The Secret of Essential Oils.
Yes. I want to know what it is.
Oil.
What's the secret?
They squeeze babies, get the oil out of them.
The secret to essential
Lavender.
oils is that you don't use them because if you touch your own body, you're going to hell. And if someone else touches your body, you also go to hell. So you can't use them. That's the secret.
My recommendation is watching all of the X-Men movies in 4 days, like I did.
Oh.
Caitlin had not seen, I think, any of them, or maybe seen one of them, so we watched like all of them, and it was awesome.
That's a lot.
I don't think I had seen any of them since like Apocalypse came out, because I did see Dark Phoenix until this week, and like, I mean, I like all of them, but obviously varying degrees, but like Days of Future Past is super good. I like First Class a lot. X2 is really good. Last Stand is not great.
It's a film, at least.
I like parts of Last Stand a lot, but that's mostly just because I like Kitty Pryde as a character, so I was like stoked that they like used her a bunch. Dark Phoenix is a movie, which I actually didn't hate Dark Phoenix as I didn't think it was as bad as everybody said it was. It's just like ending is real stupid.
I didn't even remember that it came out.
Yeah, it like came out. Well, like the way it ends, it almost feels like they shot a different movie, and then they were like in the editing process. They were just like, "Well, Fox is getting bought by Disney, so just end this franchise now. Like, figure out a way to do it in editing."
Kill it.
And it like,
Yeah.
like it's spoilers if you have not seen this. I don't know, 2-year-old movie. They basically give it like the Dark Knight Rises ending, where it's like Professor Xavier is just in like France at a cafe, and then like Magneto walks up, and they're just like they're retired and just like hanging out.
Play chess or something.
Yeah,
Mind the
literally,
chess.
literally play chess.
Do they
Yes.
really?
Well, that's also like their thing that like spans the movies, but
I
They
didn't know that. I just
they should have made it an homage to Grumpy Old Men. what they should have
I
done.
think it should have just been a straight up remake of City Slickers, but with the X-Men.
they should.
I didn't realize that was the thing I wanted.
They should have made out.
I hard agree with that.
Fact.
But like fuck that. If you're not gonna watch the X-Men movies, just watch Logan. Logan's a masterpiece.
Yeah,
I
Logan was
haven't
best.
seen that one either.
What is wrong with you?
Well, you should listen to this episode so you can get to Nathan's recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay. I will.
All right. So, Kit, what we do next week?
We're going to do
Oh no.
The Last Vampire on Earth.
This is our son, Chad. Nice to meet you, Chad.
Hi, Miss Chloe. I haven't seen you in forever.
I want to talk to you about the love that speaks with action, as described for us in the following passage. May this be the beginning of a long, beautiful friendship. Amen. Are you with me? Yeah! Let's light the fire!
I'm not kidding around. You, go untie him. If you were to bite me and make me into a vampire, would I be free of this disease?
Whoa.
What is that on?
I believe it is on Tubi, and it's definitely on YouTube if it's not on Tubi.
Okay.
I'm not gonna look up anything.
I'm not either.
about
That's what
it.
like I pretty much do that with most of the movies. I just see the poster and I'm like, we should do this movie because it looks real stupid.
You should at least Google the poster. Just look up the poster real quick.
Well,
Okay. Have you seen it?
Yes.
Oh no.
I am not looking it up right now because my internet will crash.
Oh my gosh. Why is it auto-correcting? People are looking for this movie.
I've seen the
Holy
name
crap.
before. I think the name is like a kind of infamous one.
Oh my gosh.
It's been a while since I have seen it. So I don't remember a whole lot, but I remember it sucks.
These screenshots are unspeakable. Oh my gosh, it's
Oh,
based
yeah.
on a novel. Okay, jeez.
You're in for a treat,
I had,
but like a bad one.
I had such high hopes for like the lock-in being so terrible, and I was just like, this is actually not as bad as I expected it to be. So
Yeah, no, it was just like meh. It was
it's
yeah.
just it's stupid more than anything.
Yes.
All right,
This
oh, go ahead.
This is at least watchable in that like baffling way where you're just like, what is happening, from moment to moment.
Right.
So it keeps you pretty engaged.
All right, so watch The Last Vampire on Earth on Tubi or YouTube for next week. If you're
YouTubey.
watching along. You can leave us ratings and reviews and all that jazz on iTunes, other podcast things. You can follow us on Twitter at IOPSuffer and Instagram at IOPSuffer Podcast. Listen to Kit's other podcast, Riff Raff, where I listened to the last episode. I don't remember anything about it other than you guys talk about movies for a long time.
It's a good endorsement.
Yeah, and then there's like a 15-minute ambient track at the end. Follow Katie on Instagram at WerewolfFace, and I don't know, give her compliments on her art.
Yeah, promote me.
Yeah, make her an Instagram influencer so we get this podcast off the fucking ground.
Send her Capri Sun.
Yeah,
And Oreos.
We should start a thing like the coffee app, but for Capri Suns. You can listen to my other podcast, Let Me Be Your Pot of Love. I'm tired. I've been awake for, I don't know, like 30-something hours. So I am going to eat and probably go to bed.
Yeah.
Stuff my face full of dinner rolls and then go to sleep. Alright. Last Vampire on Earth next week. Watch The Lock-In. Watch The Lock-In and tweet at us about it. I need to hear other people's reactions to this fucking movie.
Yeah, for real.
Because it's
The praise.
It is.
The praise.
It's like very rarely do we have really like bad movies that we recommend people watching. I highly recommend people watching this.
Tell us how many Oreos you rate it.
Like,
out of 5.
this movie would be awesome to watch in like a room, like The Room in like a packed theater. Just to like watch people fucking like react to how like insane this movie was.
Should set up a lock-in where we watch it
Oh,
man.
shit.
all night.
How is that not a thing yet?
Next year, whenever, or 5 years from now, whenever we can see other people, the lock-in.
Yeah. I hope you suffer Zoom lock-in. Alright. I'm tired. I hope you suffer, but why?
I hope you lock in, but why?
Ooh.
Oof. I don't have anything.
I wanted to try and do the like mom shriek, but I
I
don't
no.
have it. I
No,
don't have
I
it
don't
within
either.
me.
There's no way.
Just blow out all the speakers.
Pretty much.
Get that door, I'm gonna get this one. We'll sit tight here and we'll figure something out, okay? Okay. Alright guys, let's just figure something out.
Justin, can that be any brighter? Get that camera on my face.
I don't think it goes to Justin, just put the camera down for right now. Just set it down.
Alright. This has got to be literally the worst night of my life.
This sucks.
I know, this is awful. I can't. How the freak.
Yeah, you want to talk, Blake. It's all on you. This is your fault.
Okay, you
What?
cannot say that this whole thing is.
Yeah, who brought the magazine in here?
We all brought it in.
You all brought it in, please.
This is because of the magazine?
Ask Blake.
You brought the magazine?
Well, we found it at the dumpster where we all were, and we all thought it was funny. So I said,
You thought it was funny, and I said to put
"Oh,
it
Justin,
back in
don't
there.
even. You were right there. You filmed the whole thing, Justin. If you wanted it to stop, you would have stopped it."
I can't stop you guys from doing anything you want to do.
This is your guys' fault that we're in this situation.
Isn't it just Blake? Please, you guys, it's just him. He's the one that brought it. I had nothing to do with it.
Okay, listen, guys, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
Why would you even take it? Like, why do you even think that's funny? What is funny about that? Do you not understand how serious those magazines are? Do you have no, like, respect for women? Do you not look at those and see that it's sick and that it's nasty? I mean, do you not understand the impact that they have? That is what destroyed my family. Because my father couldn't let go of it because of those stupid pictures in magazines, and it ripped my family to shreds. It's serious. Blake, why would you do that? What is wrong with you that you would think that is funny?
Here's the thing, Jessica. The difference between your family, my family, is my dad could let go. He let go a long freaking time ago. And you know all that he left me? It was a box full of magazines. So at times, I guess maybe I look at him and say, "Oh, this is what men do," or "This is my dad." Okay, so I thought, "Oh, this is a funny joke." All right, I'm sorry. Did I intend for us to be attacked by a freaking demon all over our church?
It's cool, man. All right. So I know you didn't mean for it to get out of hand like that. All right. Listen, I'm not saying like you're the only one that's like has that problem. Okay, I mean, I'm saying like, I started looking at it when I was 14. You know, I was going up in my brother's room, and he just had the mag just like sitting out right on the bed, and I saw it, and I just opened it up, you know, and I just, you know, it was. I don't know. I mean, it's not cool.
There was one time when I had a laptop and I looked at some pornography and my pop found out, and he took my laptop into the driveway and just ran over it with the car over and over. And it really sucked because all of my poetry was on there too. Oh my gosh.
What?
Oh my god.
You ran it over?
Jesse, what happened to you?
Yeah.
And all your poetry was in there. Was it the sci-fi?